watching on a place where you're subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or on our YouTube channel, if you can go and rate this podcast highly. On Apple Podcasts and Spotify, they have different ways you can rate. So if you do so today, rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Because when you do, it helps other people discover this podcast so they can start their days with faith encouragement. So I'm asking for a favor today. Please today go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and rate this podcast highly. Give it the 5-star rating so other people can discover this podcast. Thank you so much for helping this podcast grow so we can reach more people and encourage them in the things of God so they can live the victorious supernatural lifestyle of faith. Well, go with me once again to Luke chapter 2, verse 52. One of the things we've been doing this week and last week is sharing scriptural promises that you can say and pray over your children, over your grandchildren, and if you're a teacher, over your students. These are things, and as we study this, we see some things that we can learn to apply to our lives. And yesterday we talked about how to grow in favor with God and men. But the thing is, I want to up your expectation for some things. One of the things we said yesterday is that consistency leads to growth. So say it with me and put it in the chat. Say consistency leads to growth. Say it with me again if you're watching somewhere where you can put it in the chat. Say consistency leads to growth. So Luke chapter 2, verse 52. And Jesus increased or grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and men. And so we looked at different examples of, how to pray for wisdom, how to grow in wisdom and in favor. Examples of people growing in favor is Jesus, which you also see in the life of Joseph and Samuel and Daniel and others. They grew in favor. But I also want to show you a few other verses. Luke chapter 1, verse 80. This is describing John the Baptist. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit. The New Living Translation says this way: John grew up and became strong in spirit. Now let's look at a few other ones. Notice he grew. As he grew, he became stronger and stronger in the things of God and the things of the Spirit. Luke chapter 2, verse 40, describing Jesus from the time he was dedicated to age 12, says, and the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, just like John the Baptist, and filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Another translation says the favor of God was upon him. 1 Samuel 2:26, describing Samuel, and the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with the Lord and also with men. And so one of the things we see attached to natural growth and growth over the years is that you can grow in favor. You can grow in the things of the Spirit. You can grow in wisdom. And when you look at, of course, the life of Jesus, and we always say, well, of course, that was Jesus, but we also see this in John the Baptist. We see this in Samuel, and we see this with Daniel. And as we saw earlier this week, we see with Daniel's 3 friends that we know by the Babylonian names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These young men, these young people were growing in wisdom beyond their years. And so if you have children or grandchildren, you can pray and expect for your children to grow in wisdom and in favor and in the things of God way beyond their years. You should have the expectation, and that's how you should pray for them, that they grow in the things of God, that they seek God and they never turn away. As we talked earlier this week, how to pray that they stand for righteousness and they're not led away. They don't bow to the things of the world, but they stand strong for the things of God. Yes, they can have that experience, but also know that you too can grow in wisdom. You can grow in favor. You can grow in the things of the Spirit in such a way that it's uncommon to the rest of the world. So stop saying that you're too old, that it's too late. You wish you learned all this stuff years ago. You wish you learned this stuff when you're a child. Stop saying all those things. Remember, your words matter. It's not too late for you to grow in wisdom. It's not too late for you to grow in favor. It's not too late for you to grow and become strong and wax strong in spirit. It's not too late for you to experience the benefits of supernatural growth to God. What you have to do is apply the things you know to do and stay in that word and keep applying it. Keep starting your day with faith. Keep starting your day reading the word. Keep starting your day taking time to pray. Keep yourself rooted in church. Keep doing these things and you will grow. I say this often, spiritual growth is not linear. You can be mature today and be a baby in a couple years. So you always have to push forward. You always have to progress. You always have to keep doing the things you know to do, because consistency leads to growth. Stagnation eventually will take you backward. So keep doing the things you know to do, and you'll grow in wisdom, you'll grow in favor, and you'll grow in the things of the Spirit, and you'll experience a supernatural life that God has for you. Well, thank you for starting your day with me, for Faith in the Morning. Something good is going to happen to you today, so expect miracles. And remember today, please go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and rate us highly on those platforms. Thank you for operating in favor with me and rating us highly on those platforms. Have an amazing day. Remember, God is not out of miracles, and something good is going to happen to you today. So expect miracles. God bless.